and welcome to Sci-Futures podcast, the podcast that imagines what it may be like to live in sci-fi future worlds. It's me, as always, your host, Claire Lim, and we have the wonderful and the awesome, the lovely Rupert Booth. Hi, Rupert.
Hello, wonderful, awesome, and lovely. That's a strain.
You are wonderful, awesome, and lovely. That's like a...
Thank you, but it takes it out of you. I mean, it's knackering of a morning, getting up and being wonderful, awesome, and lovely. I mean, wonderful and awesome, that's fine, but being lovely as well. Oh, to people.
What is the difference between wonderful, lovely, and awesome? What's the hardest, do you think?
Well, lovely is putting it out to people, I suspect. If you're lovely, then that means that other people are the recipients. Wonderful, people are just generally wonderful, or they are not. I think. I think being wonderful is something that I don't think you could work out. Awesome. Well, you see, I hate the word awesome. The word awesome is used for everything. I've got a boiled egg. Awesome. No. Mount Everest is awesome, or inspiring.
I like the word awesome. I like the word awesome.
The moon landings are awesome. Your boiled egg is not. I have no awe from this. I regard it. I go, that is a useful egg for you. It will give you nutrition.
Can you say it was an amazing boiled egg?
If you can justify it.
Okay, so if it's a justifiably amazing boiled egg, then maybe you can run with that.
How can anyone else know, unless you share your boiled egg, how can anyone else absolutely know for a fact that it was amazing and not just another run-of-the-mill boiled egg that you're kind of spinning a bit?
They just have to trust because I am an awesome person.
Right. Like Mount Everest.
That's why. They're just gonna have to trust. I tell you, my husband's got a problem with over-enthusiasm. He often says to me, so I'll say to him, "Oh my God, that was amazing," or "That film was amazing," or "That was," and he's like, "No, it wasn't." I'm like, "Well," yeah. He's like, "It was okay," or
you weren't amazed by it. I mean, people were amazed by the first film. Train coming towards them and going, "Benedicite unglaublich," and they ran out because it was a multicultural audience.
He always does that though. Paul's whole justification is everything is just okay until it's not, until it's amazing. Yeah. So he's like, a lot of things are average, but if something's amazing, then it's amazing.
He and I should sit and have a talk sometime. It'll be curmudgeon's corner about language then, because I'm totally like that. I just kind of go, why does everyone have to blow everything up? Why does everything have to be amazing? Can't we keep amazing for when things are amazing? Otherwise, amazing gets devalued and nothing's amazing at the end of the day and everything is just dust.
Oh yeah, Paul hates all that shit, and he hates the kind of woke, snowflake, all of the words, all of these kind of things. Like, I hate that as well. Like,
I approach these things from a distance and kind of go, what is this? I don't know. I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, see, or Paul doesn't leave it there. He's like, no, bring it over here so I can moan about it. Bring it over here so I can argue. Let's go for it. And then he'll go in and he's like, right, I'm going to get into this.
Right.
Anyway,
right.
So Time Cop.
Ow.
He's not even in Time Cop. That was Yarny.
And Time Cop isn't the film of this week either, but if you're going to randomly sow Time Cop, I'm going to randomly argue. Which of us is going to mention the cave first? Well, it was me, wasn't it? Oh! But we're just running through our greatest hits,
Guys, welcome to Sci-Futures. This is one of those episodes where we run through the greatest hits. So Sci-Futures brought to you by such hits as Cave FMV, Gerbil in a Box.
Gerbil in a Box.
Yeah. Or So Time Cop. I couldn't do row in that voice, so I was like,
I'll do, you handle Time Cop, I'll do the Arnies, okay? It's a good division of labour.
Cactus Snacks in the chat's going 10 minutes and they've not even put the poster up. There you go, Cactus Snacks. There you go. You can see the poster on the screen now. I've pressed the button.
Nor have we even gone near the film or anything like that. Yeah, 10 minutes is it? Which one is it where we're going to get to the end of the thing without ever having discussed the film? Next week, maybe? Who knows?
No, next week we definitely can. Next week's a very good film. So next week's very serious, guys. We're going to be very serious. Yeah. A lot of chin scratching next week. Chin scratching perhaps for this one too, because we are, segue, speaking about Dark Star. Yes, that's right. We're speaking about Dark Star. Now, Dark Star is Rupert's choice. Every week we've got this planned right up until Christmas. Dark Star's Rupert's choice this week, and next week is my choice, and so we do it turnabout every week. So tell us, Rupert, what this film is about. It's frigging bonkers, and why did you choose? First of all, why did you choose the film, and tell us what it's about in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, so it's basically Dark Star's an advanced student film. John Carpenter's first film. A lot of people who went on to work on Alien, worked on Dark Star, made in 1974, shot on 16mm, I think. And it's kind of where Red Dwarf came from. It's got elements of Hitchhiker. It's comedy science fiction. It's one of the earlier bits of comedy science fiction, really. And it's about this crew of layabouts on a ship, like we've seen quite a lot in the films we've watched, incompetent and lazy buttholes that really can't be asked, which is ironic for a butthole. It all goes horror. They go and blow up planets. They go and blow up unstable planets so that areas can be colonized safely, which is a lovely science fiction idea. And it all goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, it's a weird film. They're 20 years on this mission to, as Rupert says, to track down and destroy unstable planets. But we see them. This is like very blue collar. It's not fancy. It doesn't look beautiful like 2001. The ship is absolutely dilapidated. They're all going mad because at one point, and I didn't know this until this point, they've been on this mission for 20 years, but they've only aged 3 years. So they've gone a wee bit mad. They've had a lot of time to think. The film there's lots of points in the film where they've really stretched out the student film. Really, they've stretched it out. So there's a lot of points where they are trying to pass time. They are, keeping themselves occupied with really weird and meaningless things. There's a giant beach ball alien thing at one point as well. But the crew's going a little bit mad. And this is really great because it's almost like the antithesis to 2001. You've got 2001, which is beautiful and very high concept, wanky, some people might call it, for lack of a better, because I like 2001. It's beautiful, but I like
it. Yeah,
it's, as we've said before, it's not that interesting. I don't think
boring.
It's a little bit boring.
It's like the Mona Lisa. It's lovely to look at for a bit, and then you kind of go, blimey, and your attention starts wandering to, kind of like, oh, hello, Parisian person next to me.
Yeah, I just when I first watched it, I was like, right, there's a few wanky moments that I can let go of. But then as I got through it, I was like, beautiful film. Love it. Gorgeous.
And important. Gorgeous, important, pushed filmmaking and science fiction filmmaking forward in so many ways. Just a shame that a joke once in a while, a gag.
Yeah, I know. Just like
wouldn't
a little
hurt
bit.
It.
Even if it's not a gag, but a little bit of levity. Just a little bit of levity.
Even just a kind of sketch of a soap opera of the monkeys at the beginning. The apes and their lives. And I've got a jawbone, and look, I throw this up, and it turns into satellites. I'm the magician, and that's how it starts. And he makes fire, and he becomes the first overlord, and it's all downhill from there. But that would have been a great story.
I love Stanley Kubrick's aesthetic. I love I do. I think his films are amazing. The Shining is an incredible film.
Yeah.
And that is one where there's a lot in that. You could say it's wank, but it's beautiful, as in it's amazing, and it has steeped in meaning, and there's a lot. Everything means something. I think with 2001 it loses it for me, but with Dark Star, this was John Carpenter's debut. He also made the music, which you can totally hear. You can totally hear John Carpenter's influence. Dan O'Bannon is in this as well, and Dan O'Bannon and John Carpenter, they're working together in this one. Dan O'Bannon wrote the screenplay for Alien, and you can really see when you go to watch Alien. In fact, if you watch Dark Star one day and the next day you're watching Alien, you can see where this kind of blue collar, the sort of worky ethic, kind of like dilapidated ship, everything's very close. It's not spacious. It's tense. An Alien takes those concepts and those ideas and just makes them a little bit more high concept. That's all it's doing. So,
basically, Alien had a budget.
Yes, it had a budget.
I think the original idea for the beach ball alien was that they were going to try and make something scary and worrying, but they absolutely couldn't because they had no money, so they had to just go to the other end. And I'm gonna name drop now the one email conversation I ever had with Ron Cobb, who worked on this and Alien and all sorts of things, designer. He said to me, look, if you haven't got a budget, just make it openly crap and own it, basically. So that's what they did on this.
I thought, honestly, I kind of feel like if you're gonna go for it, go for it. Yeah. So if you're gonna make something beautiful and high concept, then go 1000%. I think the film, I would rather have a reaction from a film than no reaction. I think when you've got a beige film with no reaction, that's when you're in trouble.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I would rather, like with this is bonkers, this film. I mean, it's like, it was meant to be 45 minutes long, a graduation short. You know, you've got Dan O'Bannon like hunting down a goofy beach ball thing, you know, and you can see a lot of that like in the, I think it's in the ventilation shafts and stuff. You can start to see that concept then come through to Alien, which I thought was really, which is really, really interesting. But I think the thing about Dark Star is it's less about the story and it's more about those little moments of boredom.
I mean, the story kind of meanders from point to point. It isn't really driven for. It's not got any narrative drive, particularly until towards the end. It's and that kind of gives it a reality. Their lives would be like that, you know, sitting around going, while they travel from one place to the other, one job to the other.
Yeah. I mean, imagine. I mean, I get bored doing admin-y stuff. Like, can you imagine doing the same job for 20 years? Like
on a small ship, you know, it can't be that big a ship. You're trapped on one place with one bunch of people,
and also only aging 3 years. I don't think. Right. I think it would be okay because you'd be like, oh, I look the same. But I think there's something to it. It's like if you're looking at yourself and you're not seeing any change, and your whole environment isn't changing, and your brain's not really changing apart from just trying to find ways to be bored.
Yeah.
That there's something different about the aging process. Then it's like, then what is that? You know, you're just in some kind of weird stasis. You're not becoming wiser. You're not becoming.
Isn't it to do with time dilation? Isn't it to do with hyperspace and Einstein and real stuff?
Yeah,
about
like
the fact that they don't age.
It's the way he says it as well. It's like, we've been on this ship for 20 years. And I'm like, oh my god, that is how I feel sometimes when I'm doing spreadsheets. Like, seriously.
That's how I feel about this year. It's just kind of like, oh, I've been in 2020
like, yeah,
years.
Totally.
Already. There's only another 60 years to go of it. It'll be fine.
It's almost July. 6 months have passed, and I feel like I've aged 10 years. I mean, I honestly do. Seriously.
It's a reverse thing. It's a reverse thing.
That's what it feels like. Doom Noob's got a question for you, Rupert. Doom says, can you ask Rupert if the comedy is supposed to be a shock for the audience? Because the trailer, I recall, was dead serious, whereas the movie seems to have far more levity. So, is it supposed to be more of a shock when you watch it and you're like, oh, this is a comedy? Oh, what do you think?
No, I don't know enough about how it was originally released and advertised and stuff. Because I mean, it was this graduation piece rather than designed to go out there and I assume it got a limited kind of theatrical exhibition. But I don't know about the whole selling side of it. Interesting question. I'm not sure I've ever seen a trailer.
I'm sure I saw that. I played the trailer. I think it was maybe yesterday when I was talking about doing this, and the trailer does seem very serious. So I'm not sure how they marketed it versus what people might have thought at the time. That's a good question.
What's the nearest thing? I suppose the nearest thing to it at that point is probably Silent Running, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, perhaps in terms of I think feel and
the whole thing about these schlubs who sort of dotting about, you know, not really bothering about their jobs. Real people like that. That's very Silent Running.
Absolutely. It feels very, I guess it's that way. It's interesting in the 70s. So you come out of like the 50s and 60s, and then you get into the 70s, and some films are starting to emerge, which is showing the working class element of space, the boredom of space, the trouble with space, the trouble of space. And so you're seeing, and the interaction you might have on a long space journey, the psychological effects. So it starts to become very gritty and very real, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although this, I mean, the beach ball alien and stuff is ridiculous, but actually, really, like, if you think about it, Rupert, how would you feel doing the same job over and over again for 20 years? Would you go mad, or do you think you can do it? Do you think you could do it?
I'd have had to go mad to do it in the first place. Right. So if I'm doing that job, I'm already just doolally bonkers sitting in a corner dribbling slightly. Which maybe I am anyway.
So that's what he's been doing all day. He's not been filming. He's been facing that back wall, just bumping his head off the wall.
Yeah.
It's all good. That's what he does.
I've got a nice dent in there now. I'm just kind of, bit by bit. Eventually, I'll get through, and then I don't know, my head will be in the bathroom, which would be pointless. But I'll have made it. I may have had a hole in the wall in my cranium. I won't care anymore by that point because I'll have taken so much damage to my brain. It'll be fine.
So imagine you're on a space journey, then, Rupert, and you've got 20 years. You might not be doing the same job for 20 years, but how do you keep yourself from boredom? I mean, how do you keep yourself not bored anyway? Like, how? I mean, what would you do?
You keep fit. What's the composition of the crew like? Basically, are there any women?
There may be, but they're not for you, Rupert. They're not for you. No, they're your crewmates. They're your
Like,
crewmates.
never heard of a work romance? Like,
Rupert!
not for me.
Rupert's already got his eye. He's like, right.
Don't say to them who they are and aren't for. That's their choice. How
So-
dare you put that on them?
We know that Rupert might spend the time
Overlord.
trying to. Yeah, I am mother. I am the ship's computer. I am mother. Like, I see you, Rupert. What are you doing, Rupert? Like,
You shouldn't be watching, you dirty old computer. I'm going to get into your mainframe. I am, and start yanking a few boards out.
I am mother. Like, Rupert.
You're going to be ending up singing Daisy Daisy before the end of this night. I tell you.
Rupert, I see your senseless flirtations, and they are misplaced. Please go to your room. Please go to your cryo chamber, Rupert. Yes,
I'm in my room. That's where you're watching me, you weird computer thing.
So, how do you spend? Do you often get bored, or do you have one of those minds that is like quite happy to just?
Both. I have a mind that can be quite happy to bounce from one thing to the other, but when it's bounced itself out, suddenly just this existential boredom descends. It's going, oh God. It's like this array. Imagine a test card forever. Mm-hmm. It's not even playing any music. It's just going.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
And that's just. It's like that. Yeah.
I get bored so easily. Like, I am like the world's most impatient person.
Really?
I get very bored.
Mm-hmm.
I've always got like I think people that watch the streams can probably tell. Like, I love chatting on stream, but I like to keep it moving. So like, we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I like, and same with like, I think if you're doing like a podcast or something like this, I like to keep the conversation moving because
Yes.
I think it's interesting. And even like, if I'm not doing anything, I can't spend the day at home just watching TV. I can't do that.
No, I do have to get out and about a bit, even if it's just going for walks, as I do at the moment, and will be doing for the rest of this year. At least it's getting out and moving. Got to do something a bit physical,
Yes.
Otherwise.
I'm enjoying seeing people socially distanced.
Uh-huh.
That's quite nice. I've got a friend. So it's things like that. Like, if I'm going to go out and do something, I need a point of interest. So...
Are you still coming to the park sometime?
Yeah. Oh yes, we should.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
In the next couple of weeks for sure. I shall
Nice.
text you later. Look, Rupert. Time cop. Time cop. Rah. Nate has a question for you, by the way, Rupert, and I know what the answer is to this already, but Nate, lovely friend of the stream over in the US of A, says, Rupert, so Rupert says, I have a question. Do you do any science fiction writing? Well, Rupert, you can answer that. Yes. Tell us what kind of writing you do, Rupert.
Lots of it. Well, a chunk of it is interactive. It's this thing called Protoverse that I've been developing for a while, and which was on the point of getting somewhere when this year happened, and now. So working out new things to do with that, different things that we can actually do until there's a vaccine. So being busy writing chunks of that, and the other thing that basically all the writing I've been doing for a while is science fiction writing.
And he can't talk about it much, which is very frustrating.
No, not all of it. No, not really much without giving stuff away. So that's just annoying. But yeah.
Do you think,
one of
Rupert,
them soon?
Do you think
I try not to think.
Do you think the Cave FMV is going to be a sci-fi? Is that a sci-fi?
Oh yes, it's got a gerbil in a box and the gerbil talks. It's science fiction.
Science fiction.
Or fantasy.
And it's got a screw door. It's got a big screw door, right?
It's got a big screw door.
It's got a big screw door like War of the Worlds. So it's got a big screw door.
And it's got a gerbil in a box. And who knows what else it may have.
Who knows what else it may have. I can't say. Rupert and I have made notes.
We have, yes.
So Cave FMV coming soon. Well, not coming soon. Whenever we can do it.
Coming soonish. Cave FMV on the agenda at some point.
I reckon, Rupert, there's so many games on Steam that are 5 to 10 minutes long. I think we can make a 10-minute game.
Let's make a 10-minute game then.
I think we should make a 10-minute game on Steam. I think honestly,
we'll do a 10-minute lockdown game then.
Oh my god, yes! And it could be. Right. And we had like Park FMV as well. Wasn't that a thing? That was going to happen as
Park
well.
FMV
was it just like eat sandwich, give sandwich to seagull? Those were the choices.
Was it actually an FMV or was it just an excuse to meet up and sit in the park? I can't remember.
I think it was, and we could make it into an FMV if I turn on.
Of course we could, yeah. That park bench or this park bench, your choice.
Like, we have 2 sandwiches. Do you want Rupert to eat cheese and onion or tuna and sweet corn?
Well, actually, no. I'd make that decision for them because I don't like seafood, so it would be the cheese and onion one.
Oh, okay. So cheese and onion or egg cress. Nice egg cress. Could do a nice plain egg curry. Anyway, so time cup.
Or it could be choice 3, where you take the top of one piece of sandwich and the bottom of another one, and you meld them together, and you get Franken sandwich.
I like that. And Stranglewank says here, the cave can be a duvet fort, easy to make. Yeah, it could be a duvet fort. Yeah.
We'd both have to be in the same place under a duvet fort then.
That's right. We can't socially distance under a duvet fort.
No, not really, unless it's a really big duvet.
Yeah, and we don't have that budget.
We do not have the duvetal resources at this time.
No, we don't have that budget.
Duvetal resources.
Yeah, we don't have that budget.
No.
Okay, so time cop. Right, here we go.
Time cop. Yes.
Time cop. Wow.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Stranglewank says, "Eat the tuna, Rupert. Suffer for your art. Suffer for your art."
No, I'm not going to.
We had a conversation.
So I'm just going to be rude back to her. No.
We had a conversation about this before I started this podcast, and it's a big it's a big no of mine. See, if somebody says to me, "I don't like something," I'll go, "Okay, that's cool," and I'll accept it. I wouldn't, for example, if Rupert says, "I don't like seafood, Claire," and we're at a restaurant together, I wouldn't go, "But seriously, Rupert, if you eat this shrimp, it'll change your life. It'll change your life." I hate people that do that. I can't stand people. Like, "Oh, you don't like romantic films. Watch this film, though." I'm like, no, I don't like romantic films. I've just told you, I hate cheesy shit, and you're giving me something cheesy and shit to watch. And
unless it's in a sandwich, in which case it's fine.
Unless it's so Rupert, I would never force Rupert to eat anything seafood.
Thank you for not foisting the fish upon me.
I absolutely would never, and I absolutely celebrate diversity of opinion as well.
Indeed.
I honestly.
Just so. And taste.
Why do you think people do that though, Rupert? Why do you think people go, "Oh, you should like this," or "You would like this"? Why do they do that?
Because the Nazis.
Yeah, well, that's a short answer. That's a short answer.
Nazis.
Yeah, that's a short answer. So for everyone that says that I am wrong for liking Michael Keaton as the first Batman, you're a Nazi. Anyway, right.
He was the best of the
new
Batman, surely. Yeah,
he was brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, he's no Adam West, but he's of the new lot. And the new lot, that was 1989. My God, that's still the new lot to me.
I mean, no, but that was the new lot. No, because it was like old, and then it was like, this was the modern day. This marked the first of the modern day Batman.
This is when he got dark. This is his road to going, "I'm Batman." And
I thought it was a bold choice, because he was a comedy actor at the time, so it was a bold choice. Yeah. But I tell you, look, to Adam West, amazing. So I'm gonna see any Bat fans in the house. This is what I'm saying. Adam West, love. Michael Keaton, friggin' great. Who did you have after that? So we have a number of Batmen after that. Val Kilmer, sorry, no, right?
No, Val Kilmer, but the film had Arnie in it, so it was Andrew Thurman.
George Clooney, otherwise known as the greatest chin actor of all time, no, right? He acts with his chin. I'm telling you, he acts with his chin. It's kind of like smug chin acting, no, right? Then we had Batfleck, fine, okay.
No, not fine. Dull. I'm Batman.
Yeah, and then we also had, what's his face, American Psycho boy.
Takes a paddy at people. The British actor. Him.
Bait. Something. Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, him.
American Psycho. He was fine, but I didn't like the. That's all I hear. Why does everyone have to speak like that? Just speak in your friggin' normal voice. Hi, Batman.
No one talks like that. If someone talked like that, you go, "Do you want a strepsil? Have you got a problem with your throat? Are you feeling all right?
So, Rupert,
have you got COVID? Stay the fuck away from me, Batman."
If you were Batman and you had to go, "I'm Batman," give us your best Batman voice, right? Oh, who are you? Who are you? Oh, there you are. What's your name?
Good morning. I'm Batman. What can I do for you? I've got bat things and bat power, and I've got an extremely good car over there. If you'd like to come for a ride in my extremely good bat car.
I've got an extremely good car.
Possibly back to my bat cave. Yeah, it'd be great. I'd be a fantastic Batman, clearly. Yeah. I just want to take it in the opposite direction. I'm just doing the reverse of Batman.
Guys, I'm telling you.
Sergeant Wilson out of Dad's Army, a bit like that. So, would you mind awfully just desisting from being naughty, the Joker?
Would you mind desisting, or I may have to punch you, a non-lethal punch. because I don't kill, but
Well,
it will be a
it
non-lethal punch.
It would absolutely pain me to have to punch you, but I mean, I do have Robin here to come and punch you for me.
And Robin's the one. Robin's like, "Hey, I'm Robin."
Robin's all kind of, I'm Robin, because he's been waiting to do this. He's waiting to do this for years. You know, he's got the vinyl pants on now and all that sort of thing.
No, Robin is actually very normal. All right, there. My name's Robin. My name's Robin.
All right, I'm Robin. All right,
all right.
I'm gonna punch your face in now.
He found me an orphanage in Bolton. That's right, Bolton, up an orphanage.
I really don't know where I found this Robin from. My first Robin was perfect RP. Seriously, it's terribly embarrassing. But please do look again at the fantastic Bat car over there. You will enjoy coming for a ride, I promise.
Oh, it's an old bangover thing. Oh, Batman, you won't change the tyres. It won't change them. No.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to dismiss you from my service, Robin. This really isn't good. You're an absolute char.
He's making me wear pants. He's making me wear.
Hang on. This is in no way about Darkstar.
Right. So time cop. Right, here we go. Sorry, everybody. I've seen a few time cops in the chat already. People are going, time cop.
But if anyone wants to fund us to make our British Batman, then Claire, you're now playing Robin like that.
I am Robin. I can just tie my hair back and
I'll build a mask out of cardboard and just walk around being diffident. It'd be great.
Guys, if you want to see me and Rupert as Batman and Robin. Oh, Batman and Robin. Oh. Like, please.
Riddle be this, he says.
Oh, it's world's greatest detective, Sawyers. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Robin, please, modesty, dear child, modesty.
Oh,
I found him floating down the Amazon in a hatbox, I took him in and gave him a home. I'm such a public benefactor, but it's so sad that my parents died. Anyway.
Oh, he's always going on about his mum and dad. He's always going, and he's 48 years old, this Batman, and he's got his mummy and daddy issues. Oh dear, like get over it, I say, Batman. Let's go fight crime. Let's go fight crime.
Alfred, my dear man, would you possibly bring me the flamethrower? I was to destroy Robin.
I want Alfred to be really Glaswegian. Alfred can be really Glaswegian. Hey, big man!
Alfred would have to be the really sensible, completely normal one who does all the work, because that's the only way this partnership would ever get anything done. Otherwise, Gotham City would long since have vanished under a tranche of evil.
Oh god, CJ the Last Time Lord, who CJ makes lots of great stuff online for us. Can you both post for me so I can get a screenshot to? Oh, so I think he's going to do a Photoshop thing. You ready? Right, best Batman thing, right? Got it. There you go. Right, I was doing my. Oh, that's me.
I don't know if that was a Batman look. I just thought I'd stick my chin out because you were talking about George Clooney earlier on. So I thought that's Batman acting.
Batman acting. Yeah, Clooney acts with his chin. Acts with his chin. So Beetle Guy 87 says, just to let you know, Claire, in one iteration of the Batman comics, there was a female Robin. I know that already. I know that, nerds. Hey, I'm a nerd too. I know that.
I did not know that. I did not.
I know that shit. I may not be the biggest DC fan, but I know stuff.
Can we get Tommy Wiseau as the Joker in this, please?
Tommy Wiseau as a Joker. Oh my god!
Have you ever seen his audition? He did an audition for it. It's fantastic.
I really, really want Tommy Wiseau. And then
I have a problem with the bat.
Oh no, it's our Joker again. Oh no, he's back. Oh God, Joker.
Oh dear, the man's diction is so terrible. Joker, please go away and learn to speak the Queen's English, would you, before you come back and terrorize Gotham again. It's only fair now, really.
So Time Cop, right?
Yes, Time Cop. Dark Time Star Cop.
I'm not answering. I know there's some questions about Batman in the chat. We're not doing a Batman podcast, so I'm not going to answer if you don't mind.
We'll do a Batman film next year.
Yeah, we'll do it. Hey, yeah, we might do a special where we just talk in those voices for the whole podcast, and that is all. It's like it'll be like a radio play. It'll be like a radio.
I'll be so terribly wearing, Claire. I'm really not sure I can manage that.
Oh, I don't know about you, but I'd love to listen to that song. Oh yes. All right.
So sometime we should do a sort of prize thing. Sometime we're going to be challenged. It'll be sprung on us. The next week's podcast we have to do entirely as our versions of Batman and Robin, which are the best ever versions of Batman and Robin, frankly.
Damn right. We are channeling in a sort of British way 60s Batman.
You may be channeling. I'm just sitting here.
Well, I don't know about you.
I'm just saying.
Right, so Time Cop.
Yes.
Right, okay. Let's have more Dark Star facts. Let's talk about Dark Star.
Dark Star. Yeah.
Dark Star. Okay, so at the time, what I loved about Dark Star, because what the kind of sci-fi that I am used to looking at watching is kind of big budget. I love the big budget stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are a few things like Primer. It's like low budget and indie. That's a really great time travel indie film. But I really, really love those sort of big budget shiny sci-fis. Like Star Trek. This is the complete opposite of that. And the influence that this, I didn't even realize, but when I went to read about it, the influence that Dark Star had for, we've talked about Alien and Aliens, also on the film Sunshine and Red Dwarf, which you mentioned. Absolutely,
yeah.
Red Dwarf.
Massively.
Even The Thing, because John Carpenter went off and he was like, right, okay, I'm off to do the Thing. And he was taking elements of that as well. There are elements of that. They're isolated, world, sort of like working sort of blue collar isolated crew.
Yeah.
That whole element is there. And also, which I really loved, one of my favorite bands of all time is called Pinback. And I didn't know this. They actually did name themselves after Sergeant Pinback in the movie.
Really?
And that's one of my favorite bands ever of the last sort of 20 years. I'm like, there you go. So I love that you brought this to me. So
Had you seen it before? Had you seen it?
No, I'd never seen it before. So I was watching it in the background, and it seemed quite sort of chill at first. And I kept looking up and going, "What the frigging hell is going on?"
Yeah, what's going on? Yeah.
Like, what is going on? Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the themes for a wee second. So let's talk about the themes. The theme of isolation runs through this, absolutely.
Yeah.
We saw this with Silent Running as well. I feel like there's definitely a theme to the films that you're choosing at the moment. Like maybe it's Lockdown.
They're from the 70s. Maybe it's Lockdown. Maybe there is something psychologically saying, yeah, we're all on our own now. Is there anybody out?
I mean, Rupert, do you feel like with I mean, what's the longest you've ever been isolated apart from like now, apart from the lockdown? I mean, do you have flatmates and stuff? Do you live with people?
Yeah, there's people here.
So there are people around.
Oh, there are people around, yeah. But in terms of actually seeing friends, it's been very, very infrequent or digital.
What kind of effect has that had on you, for example? I know that we can speak on Zoom. I know that we can socially, but we're not able to touch anyone. No hugs.
This is it. I miss giving people a hug. It's been weird this week because yesterday I was acting with Anna Rosa. Today I was acting with Tina. I'm so used to acting with those two in person and giving them a hug and picking them up and and can't do any of that. And you can't go for a pint afterwards and all that sort of thing. And Craig's the director. We're talking about having a Zoom rap party where we all just get drunk over Zoom. And I'm thinking,
it's not the same though.
Man. Fuck me. Really? Is that what it is now?
It's not the same though. It's not.
It's not. There's the nuances and subtleties that you have to have body language for, and you have to have the person there, and the crack just cannot ever be quite as good, can it?
No, it can't, because there's body language,
Yeah.
And when you meet someone, like for example, like Rupert and I've met once in person.
We've met once in real life, yeah.
We met once. I feel like we've got to know each other so well, but when you actually sit with somebody, and when we sat in front of each other, there is a difference, because you see the spark in somebody's eyes. You see maybe the micro expressions that you subconsciously
yeah.
That you can, like, you bump someone on the shoulder and give them a hug goodbye. All of those things are kind of really.
Does this mean that when we actually meet up in the park, we're going to be sitting looking at each other, just not knowing? Oh no, this is not what she's like. I can't remember what.
This is the thing, when I meet Rupert in the next few weeks, and we'll meet, and I'll bring a wee drink and stuff, and like we can have a wee drink in a kind of nice little quiet park, if there is a quiet park in London anywhere.
Well, I've got several options around here. It depends on the day. If the day is sunny, then it's difficult to find a quiet one, but we'll go to West Ham Park in that instance, which is the biggest, and there must at least be a shady cranny.
A shady cranny.
I do love a shady cranny.
We can't even hug. We can't go, hey man, how is it going?
I'll even bring a sign to put up saying shady cranny.
Shady cranny. Sounds kind of dodgy. Get away from my shady cranny.
It does sound a bit dodgy, doesn't it? Yeah, shady cranny.
Look, guys, all we're saying is don't come near Rupert's shady cranny. That's all we're saying.
Shady cranny?
Because you
named
it.
I built the sign, I suppose. I did name it. No, fair enough. I'll own the shady cranny. That's my shady cranny.
I feel like that could be the sign outside of the cave. I don't know.
I think it's the advert that people answer that gets them into the cave in the first place. Do you need a shady cranny in your life? Why? Yes, I do. That's a very thing. Just this morning, I was saying to my wife, "Why have we got a shady cranny?" And she said, "I don't know. Just can't afford one. They're very expensive." And I went, "They are expensive, aren't they?" "Well, I'll just have to go to my job and work harder so we can get a shady cranny." And she went, "Oh, please, one day." To know that we could have one. I went, "I know.
I think we need to write a.
Heroically, I'm writing it now. This is it. I'm just performing it.
Can we try and write it and incorporate Batman and Robin into Shady Cranny? That's a Batcave. A Batcave's called Shady Cranny. That's
a
Batcave.
lockdown Batcave. When we can't afford a cave, it's a Shady Cranny. So this is Batman and Robin in lockdown, then, isn't it? They've had all their resources taken away, and they're in England, and bizarrely they're not American. And because America's been taken away as well, it's been locked down, so they can't actually have it. So yeah, so Shady Cranny, and it's all kind of
Shady Cranny
type stuff.
Or
Quick,
Shady Cranny.
Back to the Shady Cranny.
So right, Time Cop, right? So Time Cop. So we've got the theme of isolation. We're talking about themes now, guys. Just if you're following along at home and you're wondering what the hell's going on, just bear with. Technical difficulties.
This is more rambling than most, I tell you.
I think it's the heat. It's the heat, I'm telling you.
It is. Theme of isolation, I was going to make a point of that. That's very much brought up again at the very end of it with the bomb, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Who ends up being the most isolated, by dint of a philosophical argument, ends up being the most isolated thing in consciousness in the entire thing.
Well, I like how those guys were like, right, we are not 2001: A Space Odyssey, right? But actually, at the end, the conversation that he's having with the bomb is very high concept.
Yeah.
It's very
bomb becomes God.
Exactly. It's because I had to stop at what I was doing and actually really pay attention to that, because I was like, oh right, we're having a serious conversation around the conversation that he has with the bomb at the end to try and convince the bomb to not explode is really interesting. And actually, then in itself, you've been brought through this absurd non-story almost to get to a really kind of high concept point at the end. It's very clear. I mean, this is why Dan O'Bannon and John Carpenter went on and did what they did. I mean, they are smart guys. And very talented. It takes a talented writer. I think it takes a very talented writer and a very talented director to make something look shit, right? To make it look deliberately shit. I think it takes a talented writer to go, look what we're doing, and
you have to. It's like Ron Cobb said. You have to own it. You have to go straight from the start. Right. Well, we're shabby. We give no fucks.
Yeah, exactly. To give no fucks is hard, actually.
Yeah.
To empty your brain, but also bring it to somewhere. You're bringing it somewhere at the end.
To empty your brain and to bring it somewhere. Wow.
Yeah, look at that. Look, I'm just throwing.
That's big stuff.
I'm throwing big brains here, man. Big brains.
Oh yeah. I'm kind of scared.
I like the hint of sarcasm. In fact, it's not even a hint. It's just full sarcasm. Full sarcasm.
Yeah.
Full sarcasm from our Rupert. Thanks, Rupert.
It's all right. I've got your back.
Thanks.
I'll give it back to you upon payment of the ransom. You'll get a note afterwards.
Thank you. Well, thanks.
Otherwise, you're just going to have no back, and your backbone will have gone. You'll be all kind of like that.
What would it be like if we had no back? I'd just be like a jelly.
Well,
right?
it wouldn't be very healthy, because it would depend if you're designed to have no back or not, I suppose. Because if you're not designed to have a back, if you're designed to have a back and you have no back, you're pretty much dead straight away, because everything will fall out. And you'll be looking back.
Yeah, but like this.
Just intestines. That's what they look like. Oh, my legs have gone weaker. No, my brain's died.
I would be like the blob at the end of Time Cop. When he the matter.
That.
It'd just be like a blob.
It wouldn't quite be like that, because you still have your bones in your arms and legs. You have your shoulders.
I'm saying that's what it would be like. It would be like CGI 90s lawnmower man-esque stuff.
CGI 90s lawnmower man. So
it's hot. Hey, it's hot, Rupert. It's hot.
It's hot. I know.
So Time Cop. So
Time Cop. Dark Star.
Dark Star. Let's talk.
Dark Cop.
Let's talk about
Dunno.
The hippie ideals of the 60s, because the 60s obviously the decade that just came just before. We had the 60s, the hippie ideals versus this darker, paranoid mood of the 70s. Now, I am not a 70s child. You are a 70s child, but you were a young lad in the 70s.
Yes.
How has that shaped the way that you consume certain films and television shows? That that mood, that dark mood? Because you're clearly, the films that you've chosen have got that edge to them.
Well, I mean, I didn't see things like that in the 70s, obviously. I saw things like Play School and Doctor Who and Blake Seven and Sapphire and Steel and stuff. So I wasn't really expert, but I mean, there was towards the end of the decade, there was definitely this mood of discontent and constant strikes. I remember causing rubbish to pile up in the streets, which was really kind of unhygienic and bad. And then Thatcher came in, and it got hygienic, but it got worse. It was the 80s for me that were the decade of kind of like, oh, fuck it out, really? Is life like this? Then shit. Mind you, I suspect everyone's teenage years like that. It just happened to be the 80s for me. But the 70s, I still remember the whole kind of hippie ideal. It seemed to be a time of earlier on, it seemed to be a time of sort of hope and progress and science and the moon and Skylab and things.
So that's interesting, because I was born in the 80s and grew up as a little kid in the 80s. And so what I remember of the 80s, of course, there was all of these things happening, and I look back now and like, wow, I mean, the same kind of craziness we're experiencing now, really. And but I look back and I'm like, I remember Colours, Shoulder Pads, The Golden Girls. Like, those are the things that when I was a little girl, I was like, yay, And then when I became a teenager in the 90s, I was like, it was like John Major times and all of those kind of things, And then I was like, oh, okay. And it just seems to be, it's just, and then Tony Blair and all those years, which were fucking farcical. So it just seems to have been a constant pile of shit. I think since I turned into a teenager, happy childhood times, and then it's all death and shite from there.
Yes, that's exactly my experience too. Happy childhood times. Oh, puberty. Oh, what?
And then that we can agree 1000%.
Yeah, and puberty's got its upside, certainly.
I think it's no matter what decade you're born in, because when
your teenage years are when you become aware of the horrors of the world. Yeah,
and then it's how as a person and as a personality and its nature and nurture, how you choose to deal with that within your own mental capacity, whether you are depressed or anxious, or you're strong or steely or whatever it may be.
I mean, obviously, with me, it manifested with going around murdering people, and I know that's my problem. I realise that's my bad, and I have to own it. But it's so much fun.
You forgot Batman. You don't kill. You don't kill Batman. You're the world's greatest detective. You don't kill, though.
Yeah. So I am. I'm terribly sorry. But I have to become picky about that. The boy's right. The boy is right. He's a bright lad. He's very bright.
Well, he taught me well. He took me from orphanage in Bolton. Brought me down to Batcave, shady cranny. Brilliant times. Hi.
Did what? Sorry, did what? Oh, shady cranny. Thank God. Right.
Hey, yeah. I'm bringing back the patter.
You're bringing back the shady cranny, and I just forgot about the shady cranny, and I heard something completely different.
Really?
Which sounds a bit like shady cranny.
I wonder.
I'll leave it.
You mean just shady?
It wasn't the word shady, it just sounded like it. We probably better not go anywhere near any of that. So anyway, good. Moving on. Dark Star.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about the sci-fi future, the sci-future part of this.
Yes.
Is this what space exploration is going to look like in the future, Rupert? Do you think?
Possibly, because it was, again, like... not Forbidden Planet. Silent Running. It was very much informed by Apollo footage. Everyone knew what space travel looked like. So space is very black. You don't see many stars. Planets are very bright, and they're all in these very cramped. You pointed out earlier, the control area. They're all just kind of like sat like that, aren't they? Facing either side, like you get in tiny capsules. So it looks very convincing in that sort of way. However, technology has moved on so much from moon landings. I don't quite know what the inside of a space capsule looks like at the moment. Is anyone doing space capsules?
I think from when I looked at the last launch thing that happened, it looks quite cramped to me. I don't think we can afford to have this Star Trek vision of like walking around. I think honestly, space travel in the future, it will be working class people, corporations sending people out to do their bidding, and I actually think this is probably quite an accurate depiction. You'll have a lot of worker bees doing worker bee stuff, but in space, and corporations pulling the string. This is your job, and this is like the corporation in Alien. You know, it's like the corporation is a shady, shadowy sort of corporate figure, and you've got all these people who don't really know what the actual thing is. So
I'm kind of hoping that corporations and capitalism as it stands would have been overthrown by that point.
I hope so.
Well, I think it'll have to be by that point, otherwise we'll become extinct. Or most of us will become extinct, and the ones who are left will be psychopaths, and they'll become extinct as well because psychopaths can't actually work together. And the way technology is moving on, I mean, for a Trek universe, for Trek technology, I think you need power on the scale of antimatter collision. You need transporters, which then bring with them replicators, so you can actually just create the things up in space. And you need artificial gravity. Now they've got artificial gravity on Darkstar, and they've got hyperspace, but they haven't got replicators, so they can create things from scratch. So I don't know. It depends, one, upon survival, two, upon the technology. Neither of which are guaranteed things at the moment.
And that's a big question mark. We just don't know.
We just don't know.
And I'm interested. I want capitalism to be overthrown. I'd love to live in a nice sort of little socialist utopia, which would be quite lovely, and for everyone to be fair and have a nice, fair, just society. But I think we've got a bit of a wrangle yet. I think it's
not going to be our lifetimes, unfortunately, unless we have really long lifetimes, and we might.
I don't know if I want to live that long. Do you think?
I kind of do, just for the inherent smugness factor.
Well, I'll haunt you. I think. All
right, no, that's fine.
I'll haunt you.
The thing is, I will live long enough in that point to work out a way to get rid of ghosts, because time brings knowledge. So when I'm about 1,000 years old, I'll go, I know how to get rid of ghosts.
But what if I haunt you as Bolton Robin? That's me. Hello, Rupert. Hello.
Then believe me, it won't take 1,000 years. I'll fast track that one.
But you're getting rid of me. You're getting rid of me, Rupert. You're not bored. You're not bored now. You're 1,001 years old. Happy birthday. You're not bored yet. You're not bored.
I wouldn't get bored because I'd have accrued an awful lot of resources. I'd have built a spaceship for myself. I'd be traveling with it. I'd have a TARDIS.
Okay. Oh, well, we're back to the TARDIS. He has to mention the TARDIS every podcast.
Yeah.
Every podcast.
Well, you mentioned Total Recall. If you can mention Total Recall, I can mention the TARDIS.
That's true. Oh, I'm happy for you to mention the TARDIS. Mention your TARDIS as many times as you want, my friend. As long as I can do this. Oh, it's the TARDIS. Oh, let me in. Hello. Hello. How you doing? Hello, let me into your TARDIS, please. It's me. Bolton Robin. At door.
I nearly did my impersonation of the dematerialization sound of the TARDIS there, but I thought to myself, no, I'm streaming live. I'm not going to until I've rehearsed it.
Until you've rehearsed it, like a true pro.
Well, you see, to do that, actually, I think you need about 3 people to do the TARDIS a cappella.
I have no idea about this because I'm not a Doctor Who
fan. Right.
Okay, you have to send me some links. Send me some
links.
What
we should do at some point is do some a cappella sound effects where you just get people together and we'll get all the Wii squad together and we'll just all play our parts to do famous sound effects.
It'd be a beautiful shambles. I love it.
It'll be a beautiful shambles life, my dear.
Just with me in the background. Bolton Robin is here to stay.
I fear he is. Yes. Oh,
I can't wait to play this part. I can't wait.
I'm getting one of my head pains, Robin. I may have to go and have a lie down.
Oh,
Please do you want with these miscreants for me?
Do you want painkiller? I'll get Alfred to bring it up to you. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind an Anadin. Yes, and if you could possibly bring me a piece of parking cake, that would go down marvelously. Thank you.
I'll just dial him on house phone. Hey, Alfie, get up to Batman. Get Bruce. Has got another one of his migraines. I know he's on. It's always moaning. All right, I'll see you later, Alfie.
The pain. The pain.
I want this. We should write a mini screenplay for stream and do it like a radio thing where we actually just.
Well, I'll do an audio stream of British Batman.
Should we do it?
Let's do it.
Should we write a 5-minute thing?
Let's do it.
Oh, I'm so excited. You promised. Of
course I promise.
Really?
No, existentially. Yes, really.
I'm so excited. Oh, we're going to do it. 5 minute.
Well, one of the things I'm looking at, you see, is creating whatever possible content we can at the moment in this new world that we're in. This is content we can create. Let's create
Let's do
that
it.
content.
Top quality content here on this stream. That's
Top
what
quality
you're
content.
here for.
When are we going to premiere this then? Is that by this time next week or what?
Oh. I tell you what. So on our 20th episode.
Nice.
20.
Nice.
We'll celebrate our 20th.
Hang on. That's loads away.
Yes, we've got time to rehearse it, right?
It's only 5 minutes.
I just don't know if I can keep this up for 5 minutes. I mean, I'm doing short bursts here, but
it's all right. It's all right. This is what editing was invented for. It's fine. Mankind has got that one. We've got you back.
I can't wait. We'll do it live on stream, right? We'll do it live on stream.
We're doing this live, are we? Right.
Yeah. No editing. See, that's what I'm talking about.
So... Oh, well, we'll have to play in sound effects live then.
Oh, I've got sound effects for days. Mm-hmm.
Right. Good. That means you're handling that side of it. Excellent,
I can conceptualize. I can create a bat cave scene, and we will be in the bat cave scene. Oh yes.
Nice.
Okay, let's talk. Okay.
All right, we'll talk, and then we'll write.
Let's talk. Right. Okay. So time cop. Doom has a question here. Jesus, I'm sorry, Doom. Doom's got a really long question, and I'm like going, Bolton, shut up, Doom. Shut up with your question. I'm having a laugh here.
Robin, do listen to the nice, kind, gentle people out there. They're the ones that we protect, you know.
I'm very sorry, you know, but I'm the young to you young.
Much to learn. It's a strain, my dears. A strain.
Doom says, so are you guys agreeing that the movie Dark Star, remember the movie we were talking about? So, are you guys agreeing that the movie is a criticism of big corporate culture? How does this tie into Alien then? Weyland-Yutani is certainly not a good thing in that movie, but I feel there's more things in there. Does Dark Star have exactly the same thing to say as Alien does? Go for it, Rupert.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, absolutely. One, because same writer. Two, because there was a lot of that. Looking back at films in the 70s, as you pointed out, there's a lot of anti-establishment stuff. We've had the 60s and this promise of a better future and that you can do your own thing and love is all you need. And then in the 70s, it seems like the old systems are actually just continuing exactly as they were always doing so. And so there's this enormous discontent and people wanting to shout out and go, oi, no, that's not how it should be.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So there you go. There you go. You're happy with that, Doom? There you go. There you go.
That was heading towards Robin. You get the Robin out of your system.
I don't know why I was like, I haven't done it for 30 seconds. I need to do it again.
Calm yourself. Calm, woman. Calm.
I need to practice it as much as possible for the live screenplay.
We're not far from the end. Rehearse later. Stick with Dark.
Okay, sorry. So, traveling through space or staying earthbound, if this is a future where you can take a long haul sort of job in space or stay earthbound, I'm saying stay earthbound. What would you do?
It depends on the spaceship. If it's a massive spaceship with holodecks and fun things, then I might take the spaceship. If it's something like the Dark Star, I'm damn well staying on Earth. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I'm not going to get trapped in a lift shaft by a beach ball.
If this is Dark Star times, then you and I are staying on the Earth for sure. Then
yes,
yeah,
totally,
absolutely.
Unless there's no trees on the Earth and they're all just floating off on a dome somewhere with one robot to look after them. In which case, we should go and find the dome.
Oh yeah, you've got a dome and I've got a dome. He's got his dome. I've got a dome.
We've got our competing astrodomes, haven't we? Yes, I've forgotten about that one.
I mean, my dome's really fun, and you get Bolt and Robin in my dome.
Yes, and in my dome you don't get Bolt and Robin. So come to my dome, guys.
I don't know.
It makes sense.
He suffers a lot from migraines. He's very moany.
That's Batman who suffers from migraines, not me. This is my dome, my Rupert Booth dome, where fun things happen all the time.
Like what?
It's like
tell me, what's going on in Rupert's dome? Go.
I'm not going to tell you.
Sell it to me.
No. You got to be there to find out.
Oh, see, no.
You don't get told beforehand.
I feel like you're shortchanging the people.
You have to be bold enough to come and experience my dome.
Oh, okay.
Are you bold enough? Are you? Well, are you?
Hey, I'm bold enough.
Are you?
Yeah, it was always.
You are. You are then, right?
I'm bold enough. It's just I've got my own dome that's like super awesome fun times.
So it's awesome, is it? It's awesome.
It's amazing, yes. And it's totes amaze.
Totes amaze. Totes amaze. Come to my dome. You can use full words there.
In my dome, you can use full words, but we can
It's totally amazing, which has got to be better than totes amaze because that one isn't even finished.
In my dome, you can speak however you want, but if you want to use ironic, fun abbreviations, you can do that too. Totes amaze balls, lols, raffle, Anyway.
My dome's got phasers. We're going to win.
My dome's got Bolton Robin. I'm definitely going to win. Oh, Bolton Robin.
Phasers win because Bolton Robin isn't a range weapon in space. In space, Bolton Robin would just scream and you'd hear him. Well, you wouldn't hear him, actually. Whereas phasers, you just kind of, hey, Mr. Sulu. Because I've got Mr. Sulu on my dome, apparently. Mr. Sulu.
Hey, you can't have Sulu. You can't have Sulu.
Why not?
You can only have made-up characters. Like, Bolton Robin is completely made up.
Sulu is made up. Gene Roddenberry made him up.
Not from your brain. I made up Bolton Robin from my brain.
You didn't make up Robin. You didn't make up Robin or Bolton. You're working for a false premise.
I put them together to make a new thing.
Mr. Sulu, fire phasers.
We can have Scottish Sulu. Maybe you can have that. You can have that.
Why would I have Scottish Sulu? It'd be Sulu. It'd be Scotty. It'd just be Skulu.
Skulu. Oh, a new thing. A new thing.
Are you having a moment, Claire?
Yeah.
Are you all right there?
Yes, I love Skulu.
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 Skulu in your confusing accent. Oh.
Right.
Lonely Skulu. Firing torpedo.
You wee bum.
That's my George Takei impersonation, I know. Don't call me tiny.
Stick with Bo. I'll tell. This is definitely much better. Definitely much better.
Yeah, but yours isn't an impression of anyone. It's an original thing. Whereas
it's very original. See, he's nicking everyone's eye. He's nicking things. He's just nicking things.
You're trying to nick Bolton.
I put it together to make Bolton Robin.
You can't nick Bolton. It's a place. People live in Bolton. You'd be nicking the people who live in Bolton. What are you going to do with them? Put them on some kind of Bolton canoe?
But have you ever
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. A Bolton canoe?
I've got a heat stroke and
I've clearly gone. Yeah, I've just gone. It's fine.
I would like to take this moment to apologise to our lovely viewers. We have gone mad. Yes, that's right. We have 30 years, 20 years has passed, but only 3.
Your answer
dum diddly dum de dum.
Again, the quality content that you know that we're famed for. So
quality content. Anyway, that actually brings us to the end of the podcast. I'm not even joking.
So it does, yes.
I'm not even joking. That was the end. Like, we talked about the themes, and then we went on the domes again. And then
I hope you all had a satisfactory Dark Star experience there, which must have been about 5% of the overall content.
I think it's better than having it 2.5% of the content was Time Cop last week.
True, but Time Cop deserved it.
I still love Time Cop and will not have you speak ill of Time Cop.
Fire phasers, Mr. Sulu, who I own.
Doom says, can you attempt a final opinion on the movie? Good, bad, or boring? I liked it.
I also like it.
I liked it. I would say it was too long because it wasn't. When I read it was a graduation film, student. I was like, yeah, okay, fine. It should have been about 40 minutes. There's a lot of filler. I really liked it as watching it. I liked it as Carpenter's first film, as a film that 2 young guys have made together to go, yeah, let's make this film. The antithesis of, this is the opposite of 2001. I like it in that respect. Would I watch it again? Do I need to watch it again? No, I don't actually. I liked it, but I prefer things that Silent Running that have a bit more substance to them. There's more of a point with Silent Running.
You really liked Silent Running, didn't you? You keep coming back to Silent Running.
I do. I liked it a lot. I'm
very pleased to have been able to introduce you.
Oh, I love it. I didn't like him as a character, but I don't think he was supposed to be super likable.
Claire meets Silent Running. Silent Running meet Claire.
I loved that film. It had the aesthetic that I liked. It had the vibes I liked. But I thought with this one I liked it. I loved the aesthetic and I loved the kind of like ridiculous. And I love Red Dwarf and all those things. But
yeah.
No, I mean,
like I say, comedy can't. Name me some earlier comedy science. I suppose Barbarella is quite comedic, but that's so far in a different direction of comedy. That's more kind of Python comedy than Hitchhikers and Red Dwarf comedy. So yeah, I think Dark Star quietly influential.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say good film. And if you haven't seen it, go watch Dark Star. If you love films like Sunshine and Alien and Aliens and all of these films, and you love John Carpenter and things like that, go back and watch Dark Star. I was interested to watch it because I was like, wow, this is his first film. Great, okay, and I can see the influence that was starting to run through Alien with Dan O'Bannon's writing and stuff. So if you love science fiction, you should absolutely watch Dark Star. If you like modern
It's a classic. It's one of the ones. Yeah, it's in the pantheon. It's in the pantheon of influential films.
It's bonkers, but if you like it, join the Discord and then tell us what you think of it. tag us and tell us what you think of it, and I'd love to read your comments about it in the Discord.
I should do that.
Yes, you should. See, Rupert's in the Discord. He's a part of the Wee Squad Discord, but he never pops in.
Well, I forget.
Oh, he's rude.
Filming
He's
don't, Bolton, don't. I've fired photon torpedoes at you. I've blown on your dome. You know.
I mean, I was just making friends. I had the little white flag up and everything, and he's fat. He's very hostile.
Yeah, you know. I've got Skulu.
I can tell how much you love Bolton Robin. I just love how much you love Bolton Robin.
I've got Skulu now. I don't need Bolton Robin anymore. I've got Skulu.
Skulu.
Mr. Skulu.
Mr. Skulu.
Ward 9.
Yes.
You fucking twat. All right, you got Ward 9 now.
It's a very good Scottish accent. I think it's because you're northern. I think northern people definitely get it.
Was that actually good? Oh, good.
Yeah, that was good. That was decent. I mean, you have to hear my Welsh accent. It's terrible. I'm terrible at accents. Very bad at accents.
I don't do that. I do that.
The do. No.
Right. Yes. I don't know what I was going to say there. Anyway,
could have done Welsh Robin. Hello, I'm Swansea Robin.
There's lovely.
Very soft, lovely accent.
Oh, a soft, lovely accent, all made of leek and dragon.
I am the cousin of Bolton Robin. That's right, that's me.
I am the war of me. Oh, there's lovely.
Oh no, he's replaced me already. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Christ, fire in the photon torpedoes!
All right, we best be going, Batman.
Yes, it's
Bolton Robin says it's end of podcast.
And I'd like to, and the British Batman would like to thank you terribly for coming along today. I do hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to see you again next week, where I will try and have a higher grade of sidekick, you know, or at least have taught it the Queen's English.
What you saying, love? What you saying?
I don't know.
He's got a proper big head on him, so he does. Right, so that's the end of the podcast.
It is.
Right, guys, next week we are going to be doing an amazing film. Actually, honestly, it's in my top 10. I absolutely freaking love this film. Serious Time, we think, unless it's a heat wave. Blade Runner next week, Rupert. We're doing Blade Runner next week.
Yeah, Blade Runner next week. I'm sure we can't find anything comedic about that.
I mean,
and I promise I won't spend the entire time talking about Daryl Hannah. I'll try not to.
Oh, she's amazing. I love her.
When I saw this in 1982, bear in mind, it's kind of like, hello, Daryl
She's
Hannah.
so freaking cool. So yes, you have to be serious chat, chin scratchy chat only. Scratchy chat only.
Okay.
Hello. So we've done. This is
Hannah.
another Ridley one. This is another Ridley one we've done because we've done Alien.
Yes.
And so we're doing.
Is he the first one who's got two?
So that says we've got two. Let's see. By the time we get to the end of this, let's see how many directors we've covered.
We need to send Ridley an award for being the first director to have 2 films featured in Sci-Futures.
I know. I mean, this is
the award he's waited his life for.
Top quality podcast. This very top quality.
Yeah.
Very high end.
This will move him.
It's very high concept,
Mm-hmm.
high end. So Blade Runner, I'm very, very looking forward to Blade Runner next week because that is one of my favourite films ever. The director's cut, what you think of the director's cut? Should we do the director's cut?
Yes, certainly.
Let's do the director's cut because Nikki Drinks is going, which one though? So Nikki's
asking. Yeah, quite.
So
yes, we will synchronise our Blade Runner. That's a good point.
We shall synchronise our Blade Runners. I say director's cut.
So I'll go with that. Yeah.
Let's just do director's cut. Okay, guys. Everybody, please say goodbye to the wonderful Rupert Booth. I want you to have all of the Rupert emotes in there. You will see him next time. Rupert, it's been amazing.
It has been amazing. It's always amazing.
It's been amazing. We love you, Rupert. We will see you next week.
It's even been awesome. You can find me on Twitter. See, Rupert I remembered.
Rupert Booth on Twitter, weekly on Instagram. Guys, get Rupert followed. Go check out in the chat as well if you're watching along live. It's twitter.com/Rupert Booth. Rupert, we'll see you soon. Take care, Rupert.
Bye.